Coming out of high school, Jalen Brunson was one of the top point guards in the country, but drafted to the NBA in the second round, he was obviously underrated. In this video, let's take a look at Jalen Brunson's path to the league, how he compares to other guards, and why he is making history. Make sure to watch till the end and learn how Jalen Brunson, despite being overlooked, was able to turn the New York Knicks franchise around and unexpectedly break an infamous NBA curse. Jalen Brunson may have started off in the NBA as a low-key player, but looking back to his junior year of high school and only 16 years old, Jalen was already a standout. A solid point guard with good court vision, Brunson was considered one of the top players in his class. Balling for Stevenson High in Lincolnshire, Illinois, he was selected as the 2014 Illinois Boys Basketball Gatorade Player of the Year and was considered one of the highest ranked point guards in the country. In 2015, Jalen was selected to participate in the McDonald's All-American Boys Game as well as the 2015 Jordan Brand Classic, and to represent Team USA in the Nike Hoop Summit. As a senior, he repeated as the Gatorade Player of the Year and led Stevenson to the Illinois High School Association Championship title. Following the season, Jalen Brunson won Illinois Mr. Basketball. Moving on, Jalen began his college career strong. He earned the 2015 to 2016 Big East Conference Preseason Freshman of the Year title and was a Big East All-Freshman team selection following the season. As a starter with Villanova University, Jalen Brunson helped the Wildcats squad win the championship game of the 2016 NCAA Division I tournament. As a sophomore, Jalen was a unanimous All-Big East first-team selection for the Wildcats. As a junior, Jalen was the National Player of the Year and a consensus first-team All-American, as he helped the Villanova Wildcats win the 2018 NCAA Championship game to give Nova their second national title in 3 years. By the time Jalen Brunson was ready to declare for the NBA draft, he had so many awards and accolades he could probably start his own trophy store. He was ready for the big league. Despite his achievements, Jalen wasn't a top pick. He was drafted in the second round, as the Dallas Mavericks selected him with the 33rd overall pick. Jalen's NBA journey started off like a turtle race, with him and a bunch of other rookies slowly crawling towards the finish line. And with Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic in the mix, Jalen was looking like a pretty slow turtle. But he remained patient, worked hard, and when his chance came, he made the most of it. In his rookie year, Brunson played in all 73 games and averaged a respectable 9.3 points, 3.2 assists, and 2.3 rebounds per game. However, it was in the 2020 to 2021 season that Brunson really came into his own. With the arrival of head coach Jason Kidd, Brunson was given a bigger role and became a key player off the bench for the Dallas Mavericks. In the 2021 to 22 NBA season, Brunson became a starter and again finished the season achieving career high in points, rebounds, and assists, and he carried that momentum into the playoffs. During Game 1 of the first round of the playoffs, Brunson put up an impressive stat line of 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists in a 93-99 loss to the Utah Jazz. But he was just getting started. In Game 2 of that series, he had a career-high 41 points, along with 8 rebounds and 5 assists in a 110-104 win over the Jazz. That's right, 41 points! It was a performance that showed the world what he was capable of. Jalen's performance in Game 7 was so impressive, it's like he was playing a game of NBA 2K on easy mode while everyone else was stuck on Hall of Fame. He was draining threes left and right, dunking over the Suns' defense, and snatching rebounds like they were free samples at a grocery store. He finished the game with 24 points and 6 rebounds in a 123-90 blowout win that secured the Mavericks a place in the Western Conference Finals. And when it came to Game 2 against the Warriors, Jalen was like a one-man army, taking on the entire Golden State team by himself. He was shooting, he was passing, he was rebounding, he was doing it all. Heck, he probably even sold popcorn during halftime. Brunson recorded 31 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists in what would be a 126-117 loss. With Jalen in the mix, Luka must have felt like he was playing second fiddle to a superstar. Meanwhile, in New York, the Knicks were still struggling to find a decent point guard. In fact, the Knicks have been plagued by a lack of talent in this position for the past 20 years or so. And that's in a city that loves point guards, with such legends originating on its playgrounds as Bob Cousy, Rafer Alston, Stephon Marbury, Mark Jackson, Nate Archibald, and many others. It appeared like the Knicks had a curse on them when it came to point guards. Maybe they should have tried hiring a witch doctor or something. Sure, there have been some bright spots over the years, like the super exciting Jeremy Lin, who briefly took the league by storm during Linsanity in 2012. But overall, the Knicks have been stuck with a revolving door of sorry point guards who have failed to make an impact on the court. It's a shame, really, not just because New York City is famous for its point guards, but also because the Knicks are one of the most iconic franchises in the NBA. They've had some of the biggest names in basketball history play for them, from Bernard King to Earl Monroe, from Patrick Ewing to Carmelo Anthony. But for some reason, the Knicks office just couldn't seem to get their point guard situation sorted out. Until Jalen Brunson showed up, that is. When Jalen Brunson was acquired via a trade from the Mavs, it has been a much needed breath of fresh air for the Knicks. He had yet to prove himself, and some fans and critics were skeptical, as Jalen was considered overpaid compared to other established players in his position, such as Kyle Lowry and Chris Paul, for instance, who are earning a similar amount of money. But why do people keep sleeping on Jalen Brunson? It's not like you can grab top talent for a mailman's salary anymore like the 60s. This inflation is no joke. Yes, Jalen agreed to a 4-year, $104 million extension with New York, which was more than what the Dallas Mavericks were willing to offer him. But in his response to the critics, he emphasized that signing the big money deal doesn't change a thing in his daily conduct. He knows he has a lot of work to do, and he's focusing right on it.
I think like the day of me doing whatever, agreeing to terms and signing and stuff like that, like, before I did any of that, it was all right, I gotta get my work in. So I gotta do my work out in the morning, get my lift, shooting, whatever I do, and then I'll go about my business and do everything else after that.
Additionally, ESPN's NBA rank put him below such players as Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham, Desmond Bane, and others. Clearly, Jalen Brunson just wasn't getting enough respect from fans and media alike. Yet. And that changed in a flash. Brunson came out balling for the Knicks, actually tying Stephon Marbury for the most 40-point games in a season in Knicks history. Jalen was recognized as NBA Eastern Conference Player of the Week in January, after scoring 25-plus points in 8 straight games, the longest streak by a New York Knicks guard since Dick Barnett in 1965. Brunson also won his first NBA Player of the Month award, as he was named the NBA Eastern Conference Player of the Month for February. He finished the month with 27.3 points and 6.0 assists while shooting 42.6% from three-point range and 52.9% overall. The Knicks went 9-2, finishing out the month with 6 straight wins. It's safe to say now, Jalen Brunson has been an integral part of the Knicks' resurgence. Jalen boldly stepped into the role of a leader and added much-needed stability to the team. Their head coach Tom Thibodeau trusts Jalen, so the whole team culture is now changed for the better. Brunson showed great chemistry with Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, propelling the team towards the playoffs. If they make the postseason, the New York Knicks can certainly go deep. They have become one of the hottest teams in the East, and Jalen Brunson is a major reason why. Jalen has defied all the odds and became a true leader for the Knicks. It's still early, but the signs are there. Jalen Brunson is the point guard the Knicks have been missing. He's playing with a passion and level of confidence that the team hasn't seen in years. He brings a determination and intensity that hasn't been there lately. People didn't expect him to, but Jalen Brunson is breaking the infamous New York Knicks curse. With a solid point guard like Brunson leading the charge, the Knicks have a solid chance to make the playoffs this year. And who knows, maybe they'll finally break their championship drought. Let's not get ahead of ourselves though. For now, let's enjoy watching the Knicks play with some much needed energy and excitement, courtesy of Jalen Witch Doctor Brunson.